welcome back. Welcome back. Hope you're doing good. How's your day going? How is your moment going? Sometimes it's better to ask that question. How is this moment going for you? Mine is going pretty good. Excited to have you here. Thanks for taking the time to be a part of the pursuer community because we're pursuing purpose in our successes. And I'm glad you get to be a part of it. I'm gonna have something special to talk about today, as we always do. It's always special here. And I'm excited to get to share it with you. So, if you're wondering, well, who are you and what do you do? Well, I'll be your success coach today. My name is Anthony Randolph, and this is Success Talks with Anthony. So, welcome on in, and excited to have you. So, if it's your first time, or if it's your 10 million, we're up to 10 million now, 10 million time, and a little bit of a different attire. So, if you're listening to this on a podcast at a later date, wearing my workout clothes, I actually just got done working out. Hence the title, Will This Work Out? Play on words. Yes, it is. And I want to talk to you today about will this work out? Will this work out? Before we go into that, I'm an author. I actually have multiple books. I'm going to talk about multiple books really quick. So I have Successful. You can go find that on Amazon. You can go to Amazon Books and type in Anthony Randolph, Randolph. And then I also have another book that is called Isaac Lattimore and the ASA. Isaac Lattimore and the ASA. It is a suspense book. It's funny. It's got comedy. It's got family. It's got struggle. It is like your superhero movie plus your own family drama plus life plus humor all tied into one book. You can go find that on Amazon too. Just go to Anthony Randolph. Type in Anthony Randolph, Randolph on Amazon and Anthony Randolph Books, and you'll find that Isaac Lattimore and the ASA. You will enjoy it. Your family will enjoy it. And if you're watching this, you can, like I said, go find that. You will enjoy it a lot. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into our topic today. Shout out to everybody that's taking the time to watch us live on YouTube and Facebook streaming. We appreciate you. You're a real one. For real. So, will this work out today? If you're watching live, you get to see. Got my kettlebell with me. This is what I've been using. Wow, it's actually when you're working out and you're swinging and stuff like that, it feels heavy. But when you're just lifting it just straight off like that, man, it's pretty heavy. Um, so wanted to talk about will this work out? I know we all have our questions of, man, am I doing this and is it going to be beneficial? Have you ever asked that question? Comment that down below, or if you're driving, just think about this. What areas of your life are you asking, will this work out? What areas of your life are you asking, will this work out? Could be financial, could be in a relationship, could be on your team, could be your job, it could be in a business venture, it could be um, whatever your thing is, your book you're writing or whatever. You ask the question, will this work out? Will they forgive me? Will they accept me? Will this blow up? Will this take off? Will this fail? Will this work out? Come on, we're all asking that question in many different phases of our life. Will this work out? You go to the gym and you literally ask this question. Will this work out? If I go here X amount of days, eat this certain diet, live this certain lifestyle, get a certain amount of sleep, get this certain amount of water, have my water in front of us, using different using different props today to really bring home the message. And you ask the question every time you go in the gym, subconsciously or consciously, will this work out? If I come in here and give my best and sweat and live my best outside of here, will this work out for me? You ask that in your relationships. If I invest my time, my talents, my treasure into this person, will this work out? Will this business work out? You ask that in your business relationships. You ask that in your job when you walk in. Even the days you don't feel like being there, you're like, man, do I feel sick today? Those days when you don't, you're like, man, I don't want to go. But you ask the question, will this work out? Will this work out for me for 3 years, 10 years, 20 years? So we're all asking those questions. Now let's break that down of why we're asking those questions. Because we wanted to. We wanted to. There's some things where you're like, ooh, I'm glad I did not marry that person. I'm glad that did not work. I'm glad I didn't get in that business venture. Woo! I'm glad I didn't go to that school. I'm glad I didn't listen to them. I'm glad that didn't work out. So a lot of things that sometimes we're glad they didn't work out, and there's also a lot of things we're kind of sad that they didn't work out. Man, I really thought that they were the one. Man, I really thought that this was it for me. I thought this financial opportunity, I thought this job, I thought this school, I thought this team, I thought this organization, I thought this church, I thought this um, piece of art or whatever you're designing. I thought this was really going to work out. And if we're not careful, we can allow those moments where things don't look like they're working out. Okay, so here's what I mean. When you go to the gym, when you first go into the gym, let's say you're just starting back, you haven't worked out in a long time. The first initial time you go in, and I'm going to tell you from personal experience, when I first started going back to the gym or just starting to exercise again, man, did I feel super self conscious. And I worked out and I sweat and I was huffing and puffing. And I was like, man, is this even going to work out for me? Is this going to make me better? Then you show up the next day and you ask the question, man, that was really tough. I'm really tired. I'm laying on the mat trying to catch my breath. Am I going to be able to do this tomorrow? This is going to work out. And you show up tomorrow. Okay. Is this going to really work out? I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep showing up, and you show up and you show up and you show up and you show up and you show up. And then we look back a year later, and sometimes the results of the workout don't show up until later on. They don't show up until where you go, oh, you try on something different and it fits a little different. You're able to wear those pants that you couldn't wear before. You're able to say no to maybe a food that was once, which was a hindrance to you. You're able to answer, the question of, will this work out? And let me tell you this, you're always going to be asking that question. Because no matter how confident you are, there's always a risk that it won't. Doesn't matter. In whatever situation, there's always a risk. I mean, if you know, if 2020 proved to us one thing, that things can change that fast. Things can change that fast. And there's a chance that what you thought was going to work out may not work out anymore. That being said, every time I have my kettlebell in my hand, so if you're listening to on podcast, it's still heavy. I have my kettlebell in my hand right now, and I've been using this for probably a month and a half right now. About a month and a half. Okay, put that thing down. Thing's heavy. So as I'm working out with that, it's training me. Yep, it's training me to manage that weight. It might only be. I'm gonna tell you, this is only 15 pounds, and I say only 15 pounds because before I couldn't even do 15 pounds. Yeah, I was out of shape. But it's training me how to manage that weight. So even in the situations of the 15-pound weight class, where you're swinging 15 pounds, your body is still adjusting to that weight to allow you to be able to manage it and be able to handle that weight. So when you think, oh, this is not working out, what you don't see is underneath your shirt, underneath, the shorts, you're actually gaining muscle. and you're just little micro tears happening in your muscle that's allowing more muscle to grow in a space where the tear is taking place. Because even though you don't think it's working out, your muscles are working out. They're gaining new strength. You're getting stronger. You're able to walk into a business room in a business conference room and walk with a different authority because you've worked out with a different weight. Yeah. You're able to to be more kind to your spouse because you've worked out with a different weight. You're able to manage your money better and manage the finances of your business because you've worked out with heavier weights. So you're asking, will this work out? Maybe the better question is, will you continue to work out? Because the thing I've heard that was really cool is like, he's like, I love people who have these miraculous weight loss stories. What I really appreciate the fact is when I see a person and I go, oh, I know they lost all that weight, but it's 3 years later and they're still healthy. Not that they got healthy. Because when we ask the question, will this work out? It's not that you start the business. It's not that you start the relationship. It's not that you start on your new team. It's not that you got the job. It's not that you manage the company. It's not that you met that person. It's, can you continue to work out? Yeah. And then the weight gets a little bit heavier. Yeah. You go from 15 to 20 pounds. And then you learn how to manage that weight. And you go up to 25. And then you have your, see, as you're working out, there is an opportunity for you to get injured. Yeah. I can tell you, as I started working out and I started running, I actually messed up my calf a little bit. And I had to talk to somebody who's better at running than I am. Talk to my brother. He's run ultra marathons. I've told you that before. He runs ultra marathons. You don't know what an ultra marathon is? Think of marathon plus ultra and death. Combine those together, and you got an ultra marathon. I'm just kidding. But that being said, these things, these things like working out with the heavier weights and possibly getting an injury, that happens in our life too. Yeah, a failure, a bad decision, your business partner leaves, your team has a bad season, your company that you're working with lays you off. Those are injuries, and injuries can prevent you from working out for a bit. And then those times, the thing is, those are the times where we still have to learn how to manage ourselves when we're not able to work out. I know we're doing a lot of talking about working out today, but I really want you to apply this to where you are right now. Where have you become injured and stopped working out? And I'm not talking about just going to the gym. I'm talking about maybe with your spouse. I'm not talking about just you know with just relation. I'm talking about maybe in your personal life. I'm not talking about just your personal life. I'm talking about your family. I'm not talking about just your family. I'm talking about your business side. I'm not talking about just that. I'm talking about your creativity side. Where have you stopped working out? Yeah, because when you stop lifting, I have the kettlebell in my hand. So if you're watching this, listen to this on podcast, I have it in my hand again. And as I'm moving it around, I can feel my different parts of my muscles adjusting to manage this weight in my hands. And you know what? The more and more I do that, the stronger and stronger I get. So even though I didn't work out my legs, my arms and my chest just got stronger. My forearms got stronger. My business acumen got stronger because I worked up my mind and I read more books. Yeah. My my chest got stronger because I hung, example could be I'm hanging around people that encourage me to be creative again. Um, my my fingers got strong because I'm hanging around, example could be I'm around people who dream bigger than I do. And so a $1 million deal is cool, but they're thinking $50 million deals. Come on, somebody. So, my question to you is, we started with the topic, will this work out? Let's flip that. Will you work it out? Yeah. Will you go through the times of injury? I feel like I'm talking to somebody today who is injured. They hurt you. They left the business opportunity. They were bringing in the funding and they left you. And now you're like, "Ah, this will not work out. Maybe this opportunity won't work out, but why won't the next one work out?" Yeah. Manage what you have in your hand. I have the kettlebell in my hand again, and I'm working it out. Now, let me tell you, as I'm working this right now, this is heavy. It's heavy in my hands. I can feel the weight of it. But let me do that for 60 months. I'll be able to do that without even thinking about it because have grown accustomed to managing that. Yeah. You'll grow accustomed to knowing, hey, I might not have got what I wanted. It didn't work out like I expected. Yet, yet I'm stronger from it. And now I know X, Y, and Z to manage this next thing. Just like me doing these podcasts. People go, "Oh, you're doing, oh, you're doing a little podcast thing over there." It's funny. "Oh, you're doing the little podcast thing over there." Yes, I'm doing a podcast. Yes, I am success coaching. "Oh, you're success coaching." Ah, okay. And what people will try to do is, "Oh, you're only lifting 15 pounds?" Okay. I lift 45. you know. That being said, when you're working it out, you can't worry about what other people will think about the weight you're lifting. You need to lift. Now, if your coach, the person you're working at, that your people that you're trusted, people that are around you, your community that loves you, like, hey, well, you need to up your weight. Okay. But just because someone walks past you in the gym and says, "Oh, you're only doing 25, you're only doing, you're in counseling for your marriage." I would never. You're in counseling? I would never. You're trying to learn how to manage your money? I just spend it. You're doing a you're dreaming again? Your last business failed. What are you doing that for? I don't know where that voice came from, but that was my critic voice. And so you have to be okay with knowing that what you're doing is where you're at, and you can't focus on everybody else. Yeah, I'm doing this podcast. I'm lifting the weight. I have the kettlebell in my hand. So if you're watching on podcast, listening on podcast, have it in my hand again. I'm lifting this weight. So every time I'm speaking, I'm getting better and better. I'm getting better and better. I'm getting stronger and stronger. My voice is now able to go 20 minutes. Before I could go about 8 to 10 minutes. My voice got tired. Now I'm up to 15 minutes. And I'm getting sharper. My skills are getting better. I'm more articulate. I can listen to what I feel like God's telling me to say it quicker instead of feeling like, well, what if people don't want to hear that? These are all the things that I'm learning how to lift that weight so that what I'm doing works out because I'm going to continue to work it out. Yeah. So that's my challenge to you today. Will you continue to work it out? If you do, and you're doing what I always say it like this, if you're doing what God's asking you to do, and you're like, well, how do I know if this is going to work out? Honestly, it's not up to you. You just have to continue to show up. Continue to show up. Continue to show up. Continue to show up. Yep, some of the most healthy people that are in the gym are just there all the time. Yep. Or if they're not there, they're working out at their house all the time. Yep. Continue to show up. Well, how do you want to be successful at whatever you want to do. One thing you can control is your ability to show up. Continue to show up. Continue to show up in your family, in your with your relationship with your significant other, your spouse, your marriage, your relationship with your family, your job, your whatever. You continue to show up and you lift the weight. And this will work out. Whatever business idea you have or thoughts or process that you feel like I should do this and you're willing to start to work out. So you can continue to keep going and not give up. You will see results. It may take time, but one day you'll look up and you'll go, wow, how did I get here? And the answer will be, you just continue to work it out. All right, my friend. I had so much fun talking to you today. If you have any questions or anything else you want to talk about, go ahead and put those down in the comments below, or you can find me on social media at Anthony R Speaks on Instagram, X, um, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. So definitely looking forward to hearing from you. Have an excellent day, and I will talk to you soon.